entertained? Are you not entertained?
Everyone knows about the Normans. Famously, you have William the Conqueror in France and Robert the Fox in Italy. But if you go to the 867 start date, you'll find that the Norman culture is missing. So where did the Normans come from? Well, if you take a little Norse and mix it with a little French, you get what we call Norman. Historically, this occurred when the Viking leader Hrólfr was granted this land by Charles the Simple in the year 911. So where's this Hrólfr in Crusader Kings? Well, ever since the game added landless characters in the Roads to Power DLC, he's been available to play as an adventurer. Our goal will be to recreate the events that led to the creation of the Norman people and the expansion of their influence across Europe, except my plans far exceed what the real-life Norman people accomplished. They're known for ruling over other people, so we're going to be doing a lot of that. Hey fellow conquerors, most people watching this are not subscribed, so if you enjoy the video, please subscribe. Thank you. Here we are, a landless adventurer with no fame, no title. We may not have any land right now, but one day, this duchy will be ours. Playing the game as an adventurer is like playing a different game. The most important part of an adventurer is their camp. This is like your domain, except you have a pavilion instead of a castle. You are able to construct buildings and upgrade them, just like a landed domain. The goal will be to create a powerful army to take Normandy, so for our first building I will be making the campfire, which gives us knights and men-at-arms slots. When looking at the map as an adventurer, you'll see a few things. You'll see your camp where it is located. You can do things here such as going to town. You'll also see all kinds of contracts. There are contracts for every skill, such as learning or diplomacy. We don't really care about those kinds of contracts, however, as we will be focusing on martial-based ones. Our first contract here is for hired muscle. To start a contract, you first have to travel. The menu for this is similar to when you do events like hunts or feasts. Contracts work the same as intrigue schemes. You pick a focus, and then you'll see all the details on the scheme's page. You'll have to wait to get the keys to execute the scheme, and you can fill out the agent slots, just like if you were to murder someone. I normally just set this to auto as it will pick the best agent who will join for free. Once your scheme hits at least 5 keys, you can execute it. We succeeded in our first scheme and completed the contract, giving us money and a few other less important things. Now back at camp, we have the money for our second building, the Proving Grounds. It increases the size of each men-at-arms regiment and increases their damage. Another thing you get when completing a scheme is a special kind of hook. These hooks will let you make a request for various things, including gold, knights, or even men-at-arms. The personality of the character and their opinion of you will change what they are willing to give. Another important part of being an adventurer is the focus. There are 6 focuses, all with cool advantages. But for this, we'll just be going with the military focus. If you run out of contracts to do, you can move your camp to another part of the map. I'll be moving our camp to East Anglia. Moving isn't free, however, as it will cost you provisions, the special currency for adventurers. This cost is more expensive the further away the destination is, and the more troops you have. We were sailing to East Anglia when we came across some traders, so I bought this cool sword. We got our first mercenary contract, and even though I only have 100 troops, I'm gonna say yes. I didn't really help, but I got paid anyways. I moved to Wessex, and here you can see we can visit this castle. There's different events depending on the type of holding you are in, so if you want to see all of those, I recommend playing as an adventurer sometime. I've gotten a lot of strong knights, so my schemes seem to always hit 100% success rate. I've been making some money, and I've started building an army of Iranian veterans. They are just the absolute best units in the game, so they're perfect for our first troops. I've moved to Spain, and I have this contract to attack another nation and kidnap people, and I've been promised the ransom money. Our army is incredibly powerful for its size, as I have tons of high quality knights and only men-at-arms, no levies. I've continued to upgrade my buildings, and I also have a couple new ones as well. I've been battling as a mercenary in Italy for a few years now, and the biggest thing I've noticed is the lack of onagers being quite annoying. We do have a pretty strong military otherwise, so I'm able to win battles easily. I continued to fight the wars of other men until I built this powerful military of 1600 men-at-arms and 15 knights. Our max is 28 by the way, which is absolutely insane. Replenishing troops requires provisions or gold, so I spent all I have to max out the military. France was weakened from civil war and had a military strength of a mere 1400, while I had continued upgrading and was able to recruit 2,000 men-at-arms. It was time to take the Duchy of Neustria, soon to be called Normandy. I wish I could say it was a hard-fought war, but instead all I can say is that I instantly destroyed the enemy army in one battle, finishing the war just as it started. We're now no longer a nobody adventurer, but instead we are an independent duke. Instead of celebrating, I realized that owning land was not all it was made out to be. We were losing money at a crippling rate, and we only actually controlled one county directly. I went to war and I took this county from our neighbor, doubling our holdings. You see, when you hold a county directly, you get 100% of the gold from it. However, when your vassal holds it, you only get a small percentage of the gold, so it is best to hold as many counties directly as you can. I planned to take all my vassals' land, but my plans would be halted as I passed away quickly after forming Normandy. It was now my son's job to carry the legacy of the Normans. Taking these counties are considered acts of tyranny, which reduces everyone's opinion of me. But who cares about others' opinions? What are they going to do? Rebel? I was already a ruler from another culture and faith. The only way to rule like that is through fear. As the son of the first Norse ruler of Normandy, I took the rest of my vassals' titles, getting a lot of tyranny in the process. While my father took this land from the French, he never actually created the Norman culture. Here we can officially declare ourselves Norman. We will get all innovations from both cultures in doing so, which sounds great to me. We are now officially Normandy, the exact year Normandy was created in real life. Unfortunately, we can only hold 5 castles on our own, so I'll have to grant away 2 castles to some Norman vassals. With the new holdings, we're no longer losing an insane amount of money, but we will be in debt soon if things don't change. The money counties give is reduced by not having enough control, so I'm increasing control in my counties, but it'll take a while before we get it up. For maximum control growth, we have both an authority focus and the Serf the Crown perk. We're getting close to solving our money problem, as I'm now only losing 1 per month instead of the 15 from earlier. France decided that I was close to getting too powerful, so they declared war on me. I wasn't going to let the French destroy what my father built. I married my blind daughter off to create the best alliance I could find. They arrived to Normandy, and even though the enemy has way more troops, I know I need to attack them soon. I mean, look at that. We really don't have the funds for a military. The French joined the battle one by one, getting absolutely destroyed by my Viking military. They ran away and attempted a second attack, this time going for my capital. They tried to run away, but I caught them and put an end to their military. I took Paris for fun and fought them again. I then just had to wait a little bit before beating the French in a war yet again. Luckily, they were so kind as to pay off my debt. We've done it. Our great nation of Normandy is no longer losing money every month. The sky's the limit for us now. We have yet to convert to Christianity, so we are still able to raid. We're really not making much money, so the plan is to raid to get more money for buildings. Raiding lets us get hundreds of gold in just a few months, and with our strong military, no one can stop us. We're going to build up the Duchy of Normandy to make it extremely powerful. Lots of our land is in the plains biome, which lets us construct farms and fields, a great economic building. France is really not doing well. They got like 600 troops and are in 4 wars. I think I might have caused their destruction. The peasants finally decided to try and rebel, but they really stand no chance. It's not hard at all to beat them down. In addition to farms and fields, the trade port is great as it gives gold and development growth. I'm also adding a feudal elective law to Normandy to handle succession, although it doesn't work in the way I thought, so this might have been a mistake. So we're Norman, but what does that really mean? Well, our culture is pretty cool. We have bellicose, which increases prowess, we have Chanson de Gas, which also increases prowess, and we have stand and fight, which increases minute-arm stats. We also have a powerful unique tradition, Audacious Cadets, which gives us a special kind of heavy cavalry unit. Essentially, we are Viking warriors with a little bit of French class. We do have an open slot for another tradition, and I'm thinking the horse breeders tradition would go great with our special heavy cavalry. We filled out our entire domain with level 1 buildings, so now it's time to create level 2 buildings. Our economy continues to get better and better. Granted, most of our money is from stealing from others. We're even able to raid the English. Sometimes when raiding you get an event to capture slaves, and I always say yes, as it increases the development of your capital. At this point, I'm able to raid the French now. 6,000 French soldiers chased me down into my own land and went to attack my 2,000 troops. And I won. I actually won. I lost my eye in the process. That was a small price to pay, as I managed to fend off 6,000 men with an army 1/3 the size. It's been a while, but I finally reached 5,000 prestige, so I can now establish the horse breeders tradition. It'll take about 7 years before coming into effect. This time is based on how big the culture is, and since our culture is only in our land, it's not too long at all. I've been going down the architect lifestyle tree for a while now, and I can now unlock divided attention. I have a max of 7 domains I can hold now, so I took my vassal's land so that I can hold all of Normandy myself. In a weird twist of fate, England declared war on me, which is pretty funny since it's supposed to be me conquering England in 100 years. It's a holy war and they have 15,000 troops. You know what, I've actually been meaning to convert to Christianity. Converting to the enemy's faith in a holy war causes the war to end. Just a few months after converting to Christianity, the Catholics already want me to lead a crusade against the Byzantines. We're close to winning the war, so I'm going to sail down to Constantinople. And there we go, we've beaten the Byzantines. Since we were the leader of the war, we can give the new Latin Empire to our nephew, putting a Norman on the throne. The world now has its first Norman emperor. I wanted Sardinia because there's a cool silver mine in Cagliari, so I took it. Because I took Sardinia, I can actually create the kingdom title. Now I know we are Norman, but I can take this title and just rename it to make ourselves a kingdom. There are quite a few bonuses to being a kingdom, including an extra men-at-arms slot, so I can finally create some onagers. Peasants are uprising, which they're going to do so many times this game, just be prepared for that. As a Norman, your vassals don't really convert the counties, as it is kind of the Norman thing to rule over other people, which does mean there are a lot of rebellions. Oh yeah, we died fighting the rebels and we're now playing as this intelligent 8-year-old girl. Remember that silver mine I mentioned? Here it is, I can build it now. And I potentially made a mistake by creating a kingdom title. The Pope won't give me a claim on England because of it, but there are always other ways to declare wars. I'll just need to get more creative. The great thing about being the only area with the Norman culture is that all the development we get goes straight into the research speed, which is determined by average development of all of a culture's counties. We're also the culture head, which lets us pick techs. It's only taken us around 15 to 16 years to research a new tech, which is pretty quick. France just turned itself into the Holy Roman Empire, which is kind of funny, but may pose some issues in the future. I have the battlements tech research now, so I started to upgrade my castles to level 2. This will let me upgrade our buildings from level 2 to level 4. I keep constructing economy buildings, and we're getting rich. Our military is a little stronger than England's, but how can we declare war for the kingdom? We can't buy a claim since I made the mistake of creating the Kingdom of Sardinia. I can't destroy the title as it's our primary title, so there's no way of getting rid of that. What if we work towards the most reliable way to declare kingdom-sized wars? Holy wars. We could create a new religion. I'll need to get the prophet trait first. But what should we do with our religion? I kinda like armed pilgrimages, so I'll keep that. We might as well add aniconism because it gives us some pretty good building bonuses. If we change our clergy to lay clergy, then we will be able to hold temples directly. This would let us construct buildings in them using our aniconism buff, while also getting the bonus of holding them directly. All my characters have been getting a learning education, so I will also go with Alexandrian Catechism for the extra learning. For fun, I made the view on gender equal, and the marriage type polyamorous. Normanism has been created. We believe that ruling over inferior peoples is our birthright, and that is the most holy thing to do. I don't think the HRE appreciated the conversion as they almost immediately declared war for my entire duchy. They have a few more troops than me. They're going for my land right away. I'm marrying this cool guy with an eye patch because he has great martial skill, and I plan to use him as a commander. I don't have much money since I just upgraded my buildings, but I make enough gold per month to be able to go into debt for these mercenaries. We actually got an event right after that let me get enough money to get out of debt, which is pretty fortunate. I have plenty of room for more men-at-arms. I just need to wait for my money to go up. The mercenaries are coming in from the other side, so I'm prepared to attack them in our capital. It was close, but once the extra troops joined, it was easy. We were able to defeat an empire that should have been stronger than us, and we got 1600 gold in the process. From our techs, accolades, and cultural traditions, I can make huge stacks of all of our men-at-arms. We have a huge Viking military with some extra special Norman convoys on top. An army that no one in Europe will be able to stop. It's time for the Norman conquest. Earlier, I had added the by the sword tradition to our culture. This tradition lets you call an unlimited number of holy wars, when it's normally capped to 1 per lifetime. Oh, England, here I come. I know you were expecting William the Conqueror, but you get me instead. We're crossing the English Channel a little bit early, but I was tired of waiting. They actually have more troops than us, but are still running away. We won the battle and burned the English banner. 10,000 versus 5,000. And it wasn't even close. We have taken England for the Normans, our first of many conquests. I actually don't want England for myself though. My plan is to conquer many kingdoms and divvy them up to my family. It'll make us stronger in a few ways. My son is now the King of England. We're not stopping with England, of course, as we're going to take Ireland. Now Ireland was much easier. With all this conquering, I made sure to keep Kent. It contains the holy site of Canterbury, which has this absolutely insane building that gives a ton of gold, so we are rich.
Hello, I like money.
I also wanted to hold the holy site for this decision. Since we hold a holy site, we're able to declare our bloodline as holy. We get some renown for it, which is pretty nice. I've been going down the pillage dynasty legacy, which might not make that much sense on first glance. I mean, we're not exactly pirates. But what they don't tell you is that the pillage legacies aren't all about raiding. They give huge bonuses to winning battles and to sieges. The third one gives you a higher chance of capturing prisoners from sieges, which is super useful for war score. And this last one here just gives you a straight 25% boost to sieges, which is just so incredibly useful. You don't win wars from battles, you win them from sieges. Wait, what? A crusade for England? I just did that. Apparently the Catholics don't like that I took England from them, so they're starting a full-blown crusade against it. If they're gonna try to take England from me, I'll just go ahead and take Rome. The secret way to take Rome is to actually take the surrounding castles instead. The defenses in Rome are so strong that a siege takes like a year or more. You'll be able to hit 100 war score much faster by taking the surrounding castles. We took Rome from the Pope, something the Normans in real life really wanted to do. The crusade for England has started, and I don't like our odds. They're landing on us, which will give us a huge advantage. We won the battle, but more troops are coming, and my allies are nowhere to be found. Actually, they've decided against landing again. I'm not sure why, but I guess they needed to regroup, as now they're landing with 36,000 men. And my allies are ignoring me. Oh, and yeah, of course, they're following me after the battle. Everyone regrouped and both sides stayed apart, until the Crusaders suddenly started going for my allies. One of our armies was isolated and killed. We went to join, but we lost devastatingly. It's time for the next battle, and the war was almost lost, so we had to make a final stand. Why are you guys running? Join the battle! No, no, no! Traitors! And now you fight? Yeah, so we lost the war. Time went by as I regained my strength and prepared my revenge. I would start by attacking the HRE. Holy, huh? Are you really holy? I declared war for the Kingdom of France. I marched in killing their armies. I didn't even need my full army to win battles. We took enough land to win the war, and so I took the Kingdom of France for the Normans. Do you think the French ever get tired of me ruling over them? With that, I actually controlled 3 kingdoms directly: Normandy, Ireland, and France. So I created a new empire. We're now the Pope of our new religion and the Emperor of Normandy. I granted the Kingdom of France to my son so I wouldn't have to deal with granting vassals. I planned to make the Catholics regret taking England from the Normans. As an emperor, we get yet another men-at-arms slot, and I chose pikemen since they counter cavalry. We have a huge military just straight up. I'm doing a little eugenics to create some powerful heirs that will hopefully be able to continue taking over everyone even after we die. We might not have England anymore, but I can take Alba. I'm just going to be raising men-at-arms because I don't feel like dealing with all the levies. But damn, that's a high quality army. They have double the men and the bar still starts with me almost winning. That's so funny. I captured the queen and brought the war score to 100 real fast. Alba is mine. The French are rebelling. The Muslims are invading. The French are no longer rebelling. I have this grandson here who's going to be the king of Alba. I mean, he's 0, but that doesn't really matter. Babies are great rulers. The French are rebelling again. Yeah, that was fast. They are no longer rebelling. Again. The French are rebelling. Yeah, they're rebelling again. The Iberian Muslims are no longer invading, and I never even saw their armies, so I'm not sure what their plan was. The French rebellion was put down again. These people over in Lotharingia have been an independent nation for too long. What if I, took them over? They actually have an army to defeat. It wasn't close, but at least they had an army. And that's another kingdom. I'm out of relatives in our court to give kingdoms to. Well, there's no one in our family who I can marry, so that's not an option. Apparently I'm too old for our grandson to marry. Let's check all the members of our dynasty. I'm not sure if I can get anyone to become king or queen of this place, so I'll just pass some time by declaring war on England. Yep, we're going back to war with England. Our truce finally ended, so it was time to take it back for the Normans. Okay, so they have 19,000 men coming to attack my 7,000 in their defensive land. It'd be more climactic if it was close, but nope, it was easy. I mean, 5,600 kills for 800 is pretty good. They did it again as they tried to stop my siege. And we've got England back, and it only took us killing 10,000 men. I found a member of our dynasty that I can recruit to our court, the new Queen of England. We can actually make the Empire of Britannia now. Here you go, granddaughter. Welcome to the Empire Club. We now have 3 Norman emperors in the family. The 2 goals originally were to take England from the Normans and to take Italy for the Normans. This is because that's historically what they did. We have England, so now it's the time for Italy. The Kingdom of Italy is held by the HRE, so it's time to kill them yet again. Oh, okay. I just rushed their capital and immediately took the Emperor. So we've won the war in just a few months and no battles. I'm telling you, the pillage perks are the best. I found another grandchild to make a ruler. We're getting close to maxing out our buildings again. We have a lot of money, but also tons of prestige and piety and nothing to really spend them on. I killed more peasants. I've killed so many peasants that I don't even know who's working the farms anymore. You know what? I feel bad for the non-Europeans. They haven't been able to experience what it's like to be ruled by the Normans. So I'm going to take this kingdom from the Rustamids. It was a quick one, and now we have an African kingdom. The Kingdom of Germany is a thing in Europe now, so I'm going to take it. We've won and made our borders even weirder. I'm not able to declare wars as fast as I would like because I keep having to deal with the peasant revolts. At least all my vassals like me. I know I just put down a revolt here, but they rebelled again. At least I have some powerful house members I can call into things like this to deal with multiple revolts at the same time. Oh, and I took the Kingdom of Romagna. I literally just captured their leader right away once again. Peasants are going to be the death of me. I mean, I get why they're rebelling, but don't they know they'll just die? The only real way to deal with the uprisings without fighting is to give my family members independence to make them deal with it themselves. The great Pope Anne finally died, and I'm not a huge fan of our new leader, but we can work with it. Our new heir, however, has some good inheritable traits, but not a great education, although that doesn't really matter too much. We're also about to hit the high medieval period, which is pretty cool and pretty fast. I already knew this would be a problem, but this is the first time it's happened. I gave away this kingdom to a member of my dynasty, and it only took a few years of independence to lose the kingdom to another. The AI is just so stupid. Since my player heir is much better than me, I kinda want to find a way to die. I've also become a lunatic. Back home, we have a lot of fully maxed out castles for our current technology level. Wait, I have an idea. I'll go on a pilgrimage across the world with no protection. It's genius. Oh, yep, that was easy. Our ship sank. I feel kind of bad that I brought these other people to the bottom of the sea with me, but it was a small price to pay. Our new character is better and young. We have 5 kids already, but I can still marry some more women to get even more children. I want to have as many kids as possible so that I can make them all kings and queens. The Catholics are starting a crusade again. They're coming for Romagna in Italy. There are a lot more Normanism states now, so we should stand a better chance. The majority of the troops are coming from the south. I'm kind of scared, so my goal is to bait them into the mountains. They are starving to death, which could help us out. They didn't fall for the bait, but they are split up, so I'll try to attack now. They gave us a free win, so let's keep attacking. We got 2 battles going on. We're gonna win the one we're in. Actually, looks like we won both, so that should be the war all but won. The Catholics are never gonna take a kingdom of mine again. I'm not a big fan of peace, so I took another kingdom from the HRE. The new plan is to keep all the land for myself until I take enough kingdoms, then I'll grant the freedom away. Just so my family doesn't lose all their land while I'm taking the other kingdoms. Like these guys here lost their land, but I'm taking it back. We've taken Frisia now. I went back to Africa and took the hurt yet again. I continued my conquest in Africa and took Maghreb, Back in Europe, I was dealing with a couple revolts while also taking Bavaria. And we now have Bavaria. There's still a revolt going on. They're actually trying to take the Canary Isles. We unlock the next military tech, and we can upgrade our army even further. Look at how many troops we're gonna have. I went ahead and took Sicily with our new overpowered military. I'm pretty much always in a couple wars at a time nowadays. I've conquered enough kingdoms for what I want to do, so I will now grant them independence. My goal was to complete this decision, the Dynasty of Many Crowns. It requires 10 independent rulers of at least kingdom rank. It gives everyone in the dynasty a cool bonus and some renown. And now we can do it. Look at how much renown we're getting per month, that's actually insane. The Mutazid Empire has the biggest nation in the world, so I'm gonna go ahead and take Jerusalem from them as our final mission. This is so funny, look how many house members we can call. And on top of that, there's 23 dynasty members here too. With just my men-at-arms, I have 7,770 men. They don't even have that many troops here. They're so screwed. And we've won, so that definitely solidifies us as the strongest nation by far. The Normans sure are ruling over a lot of people. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing. And here's a couple other videos you can watch.